A few weeks ago, Pastor Chad spoke on the Trinity. For those that have grown up in the church or have been a Christian for a long time, this idea of the Trinity of God can be taken for granted. But it's not a trivial idea. In fact, it is one of the largest stumbling blocks for those outside of Christianity to even consider it as true. How can God be three persons and yet one? As it says in Deuteronomy 6:4, "Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one." It offends our sensibilities, it offends our logic. And yet, with an open mind, the triune nature of God can be seen throughout the entire Bible, from Genesis to Revelation. But right now, that's not what we're focusing on. Right now, I want to ask a very simple question. Why does the Trinity matter to you? Once you get past this initial phase of wrestling with the idea, it can be easily set aside. But take a look at any creed, any manifesto, any statement of faith from a church, and the idea of the Trinity, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, will be front and center. Not only that, but in the realm of theology, there are issues that are deemed essential, the very core of our faith, that in rejecting these doctrines, a person cannot even call themselves a follower of Christ. The Trinity is one such doctrine. So we acknowledge that it is an important truth. And so why is it so difficult to answer concisely why seeking to understand the Trinity matters in our walk with the Lord, in actually living out the gospel that Jesus Christ gave us? In John 17, which is known as the high priestly prayer, Jesus gives us an incredible insight to this question by giving us a view of his heart, of the heart of God. Jesus begins by addressing God the Father and establishing the understanding that God has given him all authority. That Jesus, the Son, is asking God to glorify him, just as he was glorified before the earth existed. He then begins to speak of those that the Father has given him, repeatedly saying that everything he has is the Father's, and everything the Father has is his. And so it's in verse 11 that we begin reading. "I will remain in the world no longer, but they are still in the world, and I am coming to you. Holy Father, protect them by the power of your name, the name that you gave me, so that they may be one as we are one." What? How can we just read this and gloss over this verse? The more I think about it, the more my mind just explodes. And yet Jesus isn't done making this point. He continues in verse 20, "My prayer is not for them alone. I pray also for those who will believe in me through their message." So just in case you thought this was just for the disciples at that time, Jesus is very clear. This is for everyone that ever believes in Jesus. Verse 21, "That all of them may be one. Father, just as you are in me and I am in you, may they also be in us, so that the world may believe that you sent me. I have given them the glory that you gave me, that they may be one, as we are one. I in them and you in me, so that they may be brought to complete unity." So this passage is why understanding the Trinity matters. This is why it can't just be set aside, said that it's important, but unapplicable to our everyday lives. It matters because we are called into this oneness with God. I'm not saying that we're God. We're not. In no way are we God like Jesus is God. There's nothing like that. And yet, We are the bride of Christ. There is still a mystery here. We are the children of God. We are co-workers. We are his friends. We are ambassadors. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I have the Trinity all figured out. But what I am telling you is that if you are not actively trying to seek and understand what it means for God to be one, then you are missing out on the heart of God. The heart of God is that we would be one with each other and with him, just as Jesus is one with the Father. And so we have to look at this and ask, what does this mean for us today, practically? Not only does Jesus pray that we would be one with him as he is in the Father, but he says that his desire would be that we would be one with each other in the same way. And so if we're not taking unity with each other seriously, maybe it's because we're not truly trying to set our hearts and minds on God. Because the heart of God is clearly for unity, and a deeper unity than we can have humanly. In verse 24, we see perhaps the most concise and complete summary of the heart of God. Father, I want those you have given me to be with me where I am, and to see my glory, the glory that you have given me because you loved me before the creation of the world. So in closing, is the heart of God important to you? This week, take some time and read through John 17. And while you do, pray that the Lord would reveal his heart to you, show you what is important to him, and bring you into a closer relationship with himself and believers around you, because that is truly the heart of God.